Alright guys, this is the tutorial video for the independent project, which is going to be the project that we work on throughout the quarter. So whenever you finish a project early or you have extra time, this is when you will start working on your independent project. So this is not going to be due until the end of the quarter because we're not going to have a full week just dedicated to this project. This will just be kind of a filler project as you finish everything else ahead of time. So this is how we're going to start this. We need to go into Pixlr. So on Google Classroom, we're going to click the Pixlr E link. Make sure you're logged in, and then we can start with the Create New button. All right, so we're going to go over to Photo, and we are going to choose Portrait. Let's do Portrait. Portrait 8 by 10. Should be this last one here. If you can't see that, if you can't scroll, you can just click on these three dots here and kind of stretch it out that way. That way you'll be able to see it. We're going to call this independent underscore your name. So don't write the word your name, write your actual name. That's my name. I'm writing that. So there it is. You don't have to turn the background on. We can keep that off for right now. And then we can just click create. And here we go. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to go on Google and find an image of a cartoon character. This can be any cartoon character you want. The only thing, it has to be an actual cartoon image. It can't be like a real life version. So I have this one that I found on Google. It's just a picture of SpongeBob. Very easy, simple. So I'm going to stretch him out until he fits. Until he fits a good amount of this page. All right. So this is the image I'm working with here. He's not going to take up the whole page, and that's fine. We'll get to that at the end. Just, we'll figure out the logistics of that. But for right now, I'm going to rename this image to my character, Bob, and I'm going to lock it. All right. Now, oh, it's not locked. Hang on. There we go. Now it's locked. All right. So what we want to do is we're going to fill him in with letters. So that's what that looks like is this right here. These are a couple of examples. We're filling up the entire image with the same letter over and over again. So it's very easy, very repetitive. It's just a lot of copying and pasting. So here's a couple more. So if you have a lot of white in your character, you can have like a darker background. That way it sticks out. Or if it's just black and white like this, that's fine too. Or you can be creative with another color. So I'm going to show you how we get started on this. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to start with the color that I usually start these projects like near the top. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to try to select this exact yellow. So to do that, I can click on my color picker, which is right here, these two circles. I'm going to click on the white circle on the top. And then if I hover over my picture, it will select an exact color. So I'm going to click on this yellow section right here, and that is the color that I'm looking at. So I click OK, and now we're good with this. The next thing I want to do is I want to click on the text tool, and I'm just going to click anywhere. Do you want to add a new text layer? Yes, add. And I am going to type the letter S. This turns out to be black, but we want it to be this yellow color. So I'm going to highlight this. Just click and drag, or you can click Control A, I believe, highlights it too. And this color, I'm going to click this fill button up here at the top. The color that I selected over here will be right here in my section of colors. I'll click on that. Close out, and my S is yellow. So I'm going to move this so it's a smaller square. And I'm going to click on my move tool, which is right up here. And I'm going to take this guy. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Control Z. Okay. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to move him. I don't know why this is like so small. Okay. Ooh. All right. As you can see, you can't really see it over here because this is an exact color yellow, so it's going to blend in. So in order to see it, I'm going to click on my SpongeBob layer, right click, which is just a tap with 2 fingers. And where it says opacity, this is at 100 right now. I'm going to move that down, and you're going to kind of see him go away a little bit to about 50. That's good. All right, so now I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to click on my S layer again. I'm going to move this all the way up to the corner. And from now on, all I'm doing is copying, which is Control C, and then pasting is Control V. It doesn't look like anything happened, but I just copied that layer. So if I use my arrow keys, I can move this guy wherever I want. And then once again, Control V is paste. So I'm just going to keep pasting it. And there goes my S's. You can just click Control V, but if you want to copy it from the last spot that you were at, you can click Control C and then Control V, and then it'll copy from the most recent one. So that's pretty much it. And then you move it around with your arrow keys, and you're kind of just working this way. Eventually, you will have to change your color. So to do that, so let's say I'm done with my yellow, and then I'm moving down here to this little dot. I am going to have to change my opacity back to 100 so I can get the exact color. Click on the color picker, click on that dot, click OK. And then this S, I will use the paint bucket, which is over here, the fill button. And I'm going to try to paint bucket that guy. Did he work? No? All right, let's try this. Try something else. Maybe I'll go into my text tool. Okay, my text tool seems to be working better. So I go into my text tool and double click on the fill button. The color I selected is here. And there it is. You can't see it because it's the exact color. So if I lower this again, now you can see it. Eventually, you're going to have a lot of S's. So that's why it's super important that you know how to merge your layers. So if you ever want to merge them, you want to merge all of your letters, but you don't want to merge your image with them, if that makes sense. So whenever you want to merge, you're just going to click the eyeball on your character, and we are going to layer, merge visible. So now all of these S's are one. There it is. They're one. See? But then that means that you would have to start with a new S. Now they're all attached. So if you wanted to do that, that's fine, to kind of keep the layers all in one. But you'll just have to keep creating a new letter. So you'll get the hang of it pretty easily. This is, I think, at least for me, this is kind of a fun project. I like to just chill out, sit here, listen to my music, fill in my S's, and then see how far that gets me. So a couple things just before I finish up. You do not, please don't do this, because I can tell when you do it. We do not want to do this. Have a bunch of letters and try to find a shortcut, because I can tell and it doesn't look right. Like that. We're not doing that. Please don't do that. I can tell when you do that because they're all spaced out perfectly even. They're in a straight line. None of this is in a straight line. This is going to get you not 100. So make sure we don't do this. I can always tell, all the time, always. So please don't try. Another thing that we don't want to do is make the letters too big. I would say this is actually kind of a bigger size. If you feel like it's a little bit too big, you can always change the size, not start over, but you see at first if it's a little bit too big. I would say this is the biggest size I would go, but if you want to make it a little smaller, that's fine too. Just don't make them giant. It should take quite a few letters to fill up this whole thing. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions while you're doing this, let me know. Again, you can pick any character you want. It does not have to be this one. This is just my example. But once you get the hang of it, everything should be good. And then when you're finished, you can save it how we normally save it, as a JPG, and then upload to Google Classroom.